Hi, Andrew.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Let me just get my lamp on so you'll be able to see me properly.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Juliana. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's good. Were you able to complete your homework?
Yeah, I got to start on it early, which is good.
Yes, me too. I'm excited.
Yeah, I wrote out everything that she said, which sounds
Oh,
crazy. Doesn't that sound crazy? But
oh,
it
that's really smart.
was helpful to do it. It was a lot. Yeah, I thought there were certain phrases that I wanted to practice, and I started writing my own sequence. That's crazy, but
How fun.
yeah. How's
No,
your Memorial Day?
good. It's pretty cloudy and rainy here in Seattle. So,
Uh,
yeah, I've been inside most of the day. But yeah, it's been a good day. How's your day been?
right now the weather's nice. It's really sunny. It was gloomy and rainy for a lot of the day, and my son actually came into my house and visited me, which was I haven't had a guest in my house since early March. So that was really fun.
So,
Crazy.
hey, Jane, welcome back, everyone. How are you all doing today?
Good, thank you.
Okay. All right, well, let's get speaking then. ¿Cómo estamos hoy? Vamos a intentar en español, a ver si nos lubrica un poquito la boca.
Bien, estoy muy bien. Estoy contenta de estar aquí.
Excelente. Y Vicky, ¿cómo has pasado el fin de semana?
El fin de semana todo bien, todo bien. Yo trabajo un poquito y relaxed un poquito también.
Ah, sí, yo estoy relajándome un poquito.
Sí, sí, perfecto.
Ah, excelente. Y Claire, ¿qué hiciste este fin de semana?
Fui de excursión y trabajé porque solo hay 2 semanas en que faltan de la escuela y
Sí.
en mucho trabajo, sí.
Ah, sí, solo faltan 2 semanas para que termine el semestre, ¿no?
Sí.
Ah,
el
sí,
año
chévere.
escolar.
Entonces debes estar muy ocupada, me imagino. Pero asististe a un taller de mandalas, ¿no? Conmigo.
Sí, me gustó mucho el taller de mandalas porque Paulino enseñó un taller con instrucciones para crear mandalas en un taller de arte y voy a hacerlo con mis estudiantes en Summer Camp.
Muy
Summer Camp,
bacano.
no sé. ¿Cómo se dice Summer Camp?
Campamento de verano.
Campamento de verano.
Ujú. Ah, qué bacano. Y Catherine, ¿qué hiciste el fin de semana?
Hicimos una fiesta pequeña con distancia social. I don't know how to say that.
Distanciamiento social.
Distanciamiento social por mi sobrina para graduar universidad.
Ah, ella graduó.
Sí.
Qué bacano. Sí. Y Juliana, ¿qué hiciste el fin de semana?
Yoga. Yoga, cociné ratatouille.
Delicioso.
Comí con la familia y nada, muy tranquilo.
Qué bacano. Sí. Pues ayer fue mi no boda. O sea, yo me iba a casar ayer. Pero al final, obviamente por razones de la coronavirus, no pudimos. Pero hicimos unas celebraciones y toda la familia de mi pareja, de Tania, se vistieron en trajes, o sea, todo elegantes, porque ellos todos viven juntos en el otro lado de la ciudad. Y hasta tuvieron como el buque de flores que lanzaron como atrás y fue súper, súper chistoso. Muy bacano.
Felicidades.
Felicidades.
Muchas gracias. Sí, pues falta hacer la ceremonia, pues ya será para el año que viene, yo creo. Pero a ver si puedo viajar con Tania a Europa esta Navidad y podemos hacer algo ahí en Inglaterra. No sé, ya veremos. Bien, entonces, ¿quién hizo sus deberes?
Sí.
Did their homework. Excelente, muy buenos alumnos. Entonces, vamos a mirar un poquito, no todo porque hay mucho, ¿cierto? Entonces, pero vamos a mirar un poquitico y compartir nuestras ideas. Entonces, voy a buscar a ver si encuentro las hojas. ¿Todo el mundo tiene sus respuestas ahí? Everybody's got their answers there.
Sí.
Sí.
Perfect. So we'll start with, empezaremos con el calentamiento. Sí. Warm-up worksheet. Bien. Entonces, so did you all notice how there was quite a difference between the language that Andrea used in each part of the class? So in the warm-up, there was a little bit more room for movement. Basically, the focus was mainly on the movement, but there was plenty of times for Andrea to construct cues. So let's take a look first of all at question 1. So what are the prepositions that Andrea uses for making shoulder rolls? She says, llevamos los hombros. Let's start with you, Diane. What was your answer for question 1?
Hacia arriba, hacia atrás.
Good. And círculos, haciendo.
Círculos, haciendo círculos.
Excellent. Good. All right. Juliana, how would you translate the phrase, vamos a cambiar hacia el lado contrario?
We're going to switch to the opposite direction.
Excellent. Yeah. So, or switch to the other side. So that's a really nice little phrase that you can use in your own sequences. You know, instead of just like, especially if you're doing something like a twist and, you know, you've got all of these lefts and rights and so on and so forth. It's nice not to just repeat that word for word on the other side. You know, once you've set up a twist on the one side, you can just say, let's switch around to the other side, inhale through to the center and change. Good, okay. At 7:28, there are 3 directions to move the shoulders. So, Catherine, what are those 3 directions?
Hacia atrás, hacia arriba, and hacia adelante.
Perfect, thanks so much. So we're coming into a twist at 7:40. Let's have a look. Vicky, what would be your answer for the twist? Inhalamos? Oh, I think you're muted. Sorry, I didn't get any of that.
Lo siento.
Okay,
lo
you're
siento.
unmuted now.
Ok, excelente. Lo siento. Llevamos los brazos y exhalamos, cerramos al lado derecho.
So it's not llevamos, but elevamos los brazos.
Elevamos, okay.
Elevamos los brazos.
Mhm.
You could say llevamos, but you would need more there. You would need to say inhalamos, llevamos los brazos sobre la cabeza.
Sí, sí.
Does that make sense?
It does. Gracias.
And what was your answer for exhalamos?
Giramos al lado derecho.
Sí, giramos with a G. Good. Well done. Okay. Claire, what was your phrase for lengthening the spine at minute number 8?
Am I looking at the wrong worksheet because it starts in minute 14 or 15?
So we're doing the warm-up worksheet.
Oh, I missed that one. I don't have it.
Okay, no problem. So has anybody got the answer for the phrase for lengthening the spine at minute number 8?
Alargamos.
Alargamos. Is there an object there?
Yes.
Okay.
Alargamos nuestra columna.
Nuestra columna. Yeah. So you could say nos alargamos. It sounds a little odd, but I mean I think it would be understood. But I think the full phrase is alargamos nuestra columna. Good. All right. So at number 6, Andrea uses the reflexive verb, nos inclinamos hacia adelante. Who can help me with that? What does it mean, inclinarse hacia adelante?
We'll extend forward and down.
Kind of. Inclinarse. What's the exact meaning of inclinarse?
We lean forward.
Incline.
Right, to lean forwards. So that's a really nice verb if you ever need to sort of come forwards while opening the chest. Nos inclinamos hacia adelante. All right, number 7, manos en copa is a really nice phrase. I really love using that phrase. Juliana, how would you translate manos en copa?
Well, I wrote down 2 things because I wasn't exactly sure, but you can lift up your palms with your fingers down on the earth or cup your hands.
Exactly. I mean, it sounds a little bit odd, cupping your hands in English, and we might do something kind of like that. But what it means is to do that, basically. Yeah? So your hands kind of look like an upside down cup. But yeah, I mean, I think come up onto the fingertips or raise the palms with the fingertips down. Something like that is fun.
Could you say tent the hands or tent the fingertips?
Tent the hands, tent the fingers. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a nice one as well. Great. Okay, so we've got another phrase in 836, which is permite que tu cabeza descienda hacia. Who can help me out?
La tierra.
Great. So what we've got there is a subjunctive. So who knows, what is the subjunctive?
It's when 2 clauses are joined by que, so it's got to be 2 different subjects, maybe will, desire, doubt. So it often talks about hypothetical situations.
Exactly. So that's how often you like to present the subjunctive to people, is that in English we have these modal verbs, would, could, should, may, might, that they all talk about these potential situations, things that might be. And so in Spanish, and obviously other languages as well, they're often used, as Claire said, with these 2 connected clauses. And here the 2 connected clauses are permit that, yeah? And then we've got the subjunctive that comes later, that the head, might descend. So obviously we wouldn't translate it like that in English. We just say, allow your head to descend. But just so that you're aware, that's why descienda looks like it does. And it's descending towards la tierra, the earth. All right, excellent. What does de nuevo mean, Vicky?
Again?
Again, yeah, one more time. You could also say nuevamente. Yeah. Good. Number 10. Exhalamos al centro de nuestro corazón. What's the popular way to express this one in English? Diane.
Well, this one actually stumped me a little because I don't really know the answer. I have exhale to your heart center, exhale to heart center.
Yep, that's
Okay.
exactly right. Well done. Okay, beautiful. What's the expression for twice more at 9:10? You can help me out with that.
Dos veces más.
Dos veces más, perfect. Number 12. Catherine, what's the phrase to help us stretch the neck? Llevamos what hacia what?
Llevamos la oreja derecha hacia el hombro derecho.
Yeah. So llevamos la oreja derecha hacia el hombro derecho. Well done. Number 13. What word is used for mat at minute number 10? You can help me out with that one.
La colchoneta.
La colchoneta. Beautiful. All right. So mesa neutral, literally neutral tabletop, is an expression used for being on all fours. What's the alternative expression given by Andrea at 10:05?
Postura de 4 apoyos.
Good, 4 apoyos, yeah. So you might often hear teachers say, vamos sobre 4 puntos de apoyo, vamos sobre 4 apoyos, vamos a la postura de 4 apoyos. Right? So what does that mean literally? 4 apoyos.
4 supports.
4 supports, yeah. I've also heard people say 6 supports if you count the feet as well. So the 2 hands, the 2 knees, the 2 feet. But yeah, 4 supports. Good. Okay. What do you think it means? Sorry, go ahead.
Like apoyo with a Y.
One more time.
Is that how you spell apoyo with a Y, like the verb?
Apoyo. Yeah. What's the verb connected with apoyo?
Apoyar.
Apoyar. Yeah. So support or place or rest. Apoyamos las palmas en la tierra. Good. All right. So what do you think it means when she says las yemas de los dedos las apoyamos firmemente en la colchoneta?
Press your fingers firmly down to the earth.
And it's more than just fingers. What are las yemas de los dedos?
Fingertips.
Exactly, fingertips. So press your fingertips firmly into the earth. So that's a nice one, especially if you're on all fours and you want people to kind of grip the mat, if you like. It's sort of a slightly more poetic way of saying agarramos la colchoneta. Yeah? Okay. So what verb is used for rounding the spine at 10:42?
Redondear.
Redondear, good. And if I were to bring people between cat, cow, redondear would be to round the spine. What would be the one for cow pose? What verb could I use there?
Redondeamos.
Yeah, so that's for cat, is when you're rounding the spine. But in cow, what shape are we making with our spine?
Arquear.
Arquear. You could also use the verb extender, because of course that's a spinal extension when you're in a back bend. So either of those verbs would do nicely. All right, go ahead.
Was she using a verb like proyectar or something?
Yeah, so you can use that for the chest. Proyectamos el pecho hacia adelante. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you're projecting your chest forwards. Yeah, for sure. Good, nice. Okay. Abre las rodillas a lo ancho de la colchoneta. What does a lo ancho mean?
As wide as your mat.
Yeah, it means literally to the width of. So I think that the best way to translate that, well, who could translate that for me?
What question is this?
Number 19.
19. Abre las rodillas a lo ancho de la colchoneta.
How can we translate that into English?
Open your knees as wide as the mat.
Yeah, to mat width, that's right.
Mat width.
Good. Well done. So a lo ancho means to the width of. What is the word for to the height of?
A la altura.
Yeah, so if I wanted to get people to do this with their arms, I could say elevamos los brazos a la altura de los hombros. Does that make sense? So a la altura de, a lo ancho de. Nice. Okay, number 20. To come into child's pose, we've got 4 instructions. So Catherine, what was the first of those instructions?
Llevamos los dedos gordos de los pies a la colchoneta.
Yeah, and what do you think Andrea's trying to say there?
Bring your big toes. What is she saying? Like bring.
A la colchoneta.
Yeah, to the mat.
Good, excellent. So bring your big toes to the mat. Diane, what's the next instruction?
Juntamos los dedos gordos.
Beautiful.
Touch. Bring your big toes together to touch.
Excellent, well done. Number 3, Vicky, what verb comes next? Sorry.
Llevamos.
Los isquiones hacia nuestros talones. And how would you translate that?
Can you say it again? Because I don't have the words in front of me.
Yeah, los isquiones hacia nuestros talones.
Bring your sits bones to your heels.
Exactly. So the other verb that I might expect to see there is bajamos or descendemos. Either of those would do. Bajamos los isquiones, descendemos los isquiones. All right. And finally, Juliana. Something, los brazos hacia adelante frente en la colchoneta.
Extendemos
¿Mm?
los brazos hacia adelante
Mhm. Can you
frente en la
translate?
colchoneta.
Can you translate?
Oh, I'm sorry. Extend your arms forward. It says frente en la colchoneta.
Yeah,
In
what's
front
your
of,
frente?
forehead to the mat.
Exactly. Good. So do you see how Andrea is building a sequence here? She's really making very simple, short, concise, and direct cues. And I think that's so, so very important when we're teaching, right? Is that we want to avoid getting lost in these massive long sequences of cues that we sometimes get involved in. And we want to make sure that we're really just bringing students in the most simple and direct way possible into a posture. All right, so next one. Permite que nuestro corazón se derrita hacia la tierra. Catherine, how would you translate that?
I don't know if this is direct, but I would try to like allow your heart to sink towards the earth. Or towards
Yeah, derretirse is what butter might do, which is to melt. Yeah, so allow your heart to melt towards the earth. Good. Okay, number 22. What is the name that Andrea uses for plank at 12:51?
La plancha.
Yeah, plancha. So sometimes I've heard plank referred to as plancha alta, and then chaturanga referred to as plancha baja. So high plank and low plank. So you might find that useful sometimes as well. Okay, so number 23. How does she instruct us to keep our knees bent in down dog at 13:06?
Mantenemos las rodillas flexionadas o doblados en este pero.
Yeah, so it would be flexionadas o dobladas, right? Because it's feminine, las rodillas, and it has to agree in gender and number. Good, okay, so mantenemos las rodillas flexionadas. Good, how can we translate, Dan? Caminamos al centro de nuestras manos.
Walk your feet to your hands. In the middle.
Exactly, or walk your feet between your hands. Yeah, al centro. Beautiful. So Andrea talks about half raising into Ardha Uttanasana, and you may have noticed that it's not particularly common in Spanish to say half raise. That's not really a phrase that you hear a great deal. So what is the way that she expresses it at that point?
Alargar.
Yeah, alargamos la columna. What other verbs might we use to express the same thing?
enderezamos.
Enderezamos, good. Or maybe extendemos la columna. And there again, you could have your proyectamos el pecho hacia adelante. Yeah, project the chest forwards. Excellent. Okay, last two questions. What phrase is used for releasing the arms in Uttanasana?
Soltamos los brazos al lado de tu cuerpo.
Yeah, soltamos los brazos al lado de tu cuerpo. Nice. And finally, what action is Andrea guiding when she says, llevamos los isquiones hacia los talones?
Child's pose?
Activate and flex your sit bones to your heels.
Right, so literally what she's saying is, bring your sit bones towards the heels. But what is that in effect cueing?
Tilt your pelvis forward.
Well, it's actually, that would be a posterior tilt of the pelvis, but yes. So it's a backwards tilt of the pelvis. But what we're trying to do there is tuck the tailbone and engage the core. So it's the same thing. It's just another way of expressing that same.
That makes more sense to me.
All right.
So do we say bring your belly button to your spine in Spanish, or do we say anything like that?
Yeah, why not? You could say traemos el ombligo hacia la columna.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Activamos el abdomen, metemos el coxis, escondemos el coxis, llevamos los isquiones hacia los talones. There's a lot of ways of saying these things.
So tuck your tailbone to your spine. No. Tuck
No,
your
the
tailbone
tailbone
to-
is part of the spine, so just tuck the tailbone is fine on its own.
Tuck the tailbone. Okay, got it.
Did we
Great.
go over that question about metamos colita?
One more time.
Did we go over the answer to number, what is it, 12?
17. I agree. I'd like that too.
Skip that.
Ah, I beg your pardon. I think we must have just missed that one. So she says, metemos colita. So this is the diminutive form of cola. So as you know, in Latin America, it's really popular to make things sound kind of slightly cutesy by putting ito and ita at the end. So los deditos, los huesitos. So metemos colita is literally to meter, which is to kind of send something underneath or send something, kind of tuck something underneath. And colita is your cola, your little tail. So tuck your tailbone underneath is what she's trying to say there.
Thank you.
Andrew, she used, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just gonna ask, did Andrea record this for like simplify it and record it for Spanish language learners, or is this just a regular?
No, this is definitely not a regular class. This is specifically for the language course. And I requested her to use mainly the we form and to keep her language reasonably simplified. Just watch one of her regular classes saved on our Facebook page if you want to see how she would normally talk. And obviously, there's a lot more freedom when she's just kind of guiding a normal class. And she's going to use more complex and more varied language. But the purpose of this worksheet is to show you that you can simplify things and lead a really good class with simple language. All right.
Andrew, she uses nuestro brazos, nuestra columna.
Mhm.
I'm not used to that. That's something we do in yoga more, where we use the possessives instead of los brazos, la columna. It just doesn't matter. It's not a yoga thing.
No, not really. It's just, she just felt like using nuestro that day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Spanish in general, they possess things less than in other languages. I think in French, if I'm right, Claire, that most words have some kind of possession with them. Is that right?
Yes, but less often when you're talking about reflexives in the body, because you're, like you said, it's not going to be somebody else's shoulders or back.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, there's no hard and fast rules. It's just personal choice at the end of the day. Right. We're going to split into pairs now, and we're going to reactivate our brains a little bit. What are we going to do? We're going to teach sun salutation A to one another. So dig out your notes, okay? There's going to be one group of 2 and one group of 3. And I'd like each person now to have a go at teaching sun A. Okay? Go through it once. If there's time, go through it a second time. Any questions? All right, so whenever you're ready, you should be able to click on the link.
Computer, but whatever.
I'll stay here because there's no one else here.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I can try again, but no, I don't think it. Oh, okay. In that case, let me leave with this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna disconnect.
Oh, wow. Okay, do you want to start?
I'm just gonna move 1 second into a different space.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure. Go back to my notes here. Okay, so
I'm gonna try to act it out so that I can know if I'm hearing you right.
yeah, that's great. I practiced on my friend on Friday too. It's kind of fun. Okay. So here's where I am. Okay. Perfect. Oh, Andrew's doing it too. Okay. Empecemos. Empecemos ponerse de pie en la colchoneta. Can you hear me, Claire? Are you frozen?
Oh no.
Oh, like she's looking at me like I'm not.
I'm sorry, I'm following along. I don't know why my camera doesn't work.
No, it's totally fine. Okay, I'll just keep going and Andrew's doing it too, so I get to keep going. Okay, so abrimos los brazos lejos de tu cuerpo y activamos los glúteos y respiramos suavemente. Inhalamos, exhalamos y empecemos en Tadasana. Subimos los brazos hacia arriba y extendemos tu cuerpo. Inhalamos, exhalamos, nos doblamos y bajamos los brazos hacia la tierra. Inhalamos, extendemos la columna, miramos hacia adelante. Exhalamos, colocamos las manos en la colchoneta y damos un paso a la plancha. Exhalamos, bajamos los brazos a la tierra y a la tierra y I want to say, bajamos todo el cuerpo a la colchoneta. Relajamos, okay. Colocamos las manos en la colchoneta, inhalamos, bajamos el pecho a cobra y, subimos el pecho a cobra, bajamos a la colchoneta y doblamos las rodillas y levantamos las caderas hacia, no, Andrew's, okay, no. Y, how do I want to say like, okay, well, I can just say, levantamos las caderas hacia arriba y adelante.
Yeah, so it's hacia arriba y hacia atrás. And the reason I bent my knees there is because you said doblamos las rodillas.
Right.
Yeah. So, but best just to talk about the hips.
Okay. Perfect. Y respiramos pero hacia arriba. Oh God, hacia abajo. Good thing, sorry Claire, I can't see you, so I'm just watching Andrew, what he does, okay? So, inhalamos, nos exhalamos y miramos hacia adelante y, gosh, I can't even think of how to say this. So I could say, caminamos a las manos en Uttanasana, relajamos la cabeza hacia la tierra, inhalamos, extendemos la columna, and then relajamos, exhalamos. I want to say like,
Nos relajamos. Remember, it needs to be reflexive.
nos relajamos. Y inhalamos, subimos hacia el cielo. Extendemos los brazos hacia tu cabeza. Y exhalamos, bajamos las manos al centro del corazón.
Good. One more time.
A little rusty, but here we go. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. Empecemos en Tadasana. So, extendemos los brazos al lado del cuerpo. Proyectamos el pecho y activamos el abdomen. Enraizamos las pies y entonces levantamos los brazos arriba. Inhalamos y exhalamos, doblamos hacia el tierra, hacia la tierra.
Que voy a doblar.
Doblamos las caderas. Oh no, a las caderas, I would say.
Yeah, nos doblamos.
Nos doblamos, okay.
Right.
Nos doblamos hacia la tierra. Inhalamos, alargamos el pecho, la columna. Y exhalamos, relajamos hacia la tierra.
Relajamos qué.
Relajamos la
Relajamos,
cabeza, el cuello, okay. Relajamos el cuello, okay. Y damos un paso en una plancha. Y bajamos los codos hacia... Oh, no. Bajamos los brazos, doblamos los codos hacia la tierra. Can I say that?
Are you coming into just all the way down to the floor?
Yeah, I was gonna just go down instead of doing.
Yeah, don't talk about, because you're saying bring the arms to the floor, and that makes me think we're coming into forearm plank. So it's better to say bajamos todo el cuerpo al suelo.
Okay. I guess I could try up dog, but bajamos todos el cuerpo al suelo. Inhalamos, subimos el pecho en cobra. Exhalamos, llevamos las caderas hacia arriba y hacia atrás. Entero hacia abajo. Enraizamos los talones en la tierra. Inhalamos, extendemos los brazos y miramos hacia adelante. Doblamos las rodillas y caminamos al frente de la colchoneta. Inhalamos, extendemos la columna. Exhalamos, relajamos el cuello a la tierra. Y enraizamos los pies y levantamos los brazos hacia el cielo. Juntamos las palmas y bajamos las manos al centro del corazón.
Much better. Yeah, much better.
Great.
Practicing is super important. Just find someone and get them to do it, and you'll feel so much more confident.
Yeah, I didn't really look at my notes, which is helpful. So
Good.
you can just
Good.
figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Claire, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to try to join with my phone again because I feel like it's weird to not be able to see. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know why my camera cannot handle it. Okay, I'm going to pull up my notes too. So I'll try to see you guys on the notes. Okay, ¿están listos?
Sí.
Estamos listos.
Qué fantástico. Ok, nos ponemos de pie al frente de la colchoneta. Enraizamos los pies en la tierra. Y inhalamos y subimos los brazos hacia el suelo. Nos doblamos.
One moment. What happened to our arms?
Okay. Subimos los brazos hacia el cielo.
Ah, much better.
Yeah. Y nos doblamos colocando las manos en la tierra. Alargamos la columna y nos doblamos y colocamos las manos en la tierra. Damos un paso hacia detrás de la colchoneta. Entramos en plancha. Nos bajamos. Giramos los pies y colocamos los empeines de los pies en la colchoneta y abrimos el pecho. Empujamos en las manos y llevamos las caderas hacia atrás y arriba. Miramos al frente de la colchoneta y doblamos las rodillas y damos un paso hacia el frente de la colchoneta y colocamos los pies entre las manos. Nos alargamos la columna. Not reflexive, alargamos la columna. Y llevamos las manos a cada lado de la cabeza y alargamos. Llevamos los brazos a cada lado de la cabeza. Sí. Y suavemente levantamos y alargamos la columna y bajamos las manos.
Good. So I liked what you had to say. I think in a couple of places there were posture names missing where it could have really helped bring a little bit of clarity about where you wanted to lead us next. So especially, for example, with Cobra Pose, it could have been really useful to say, abrimos el pecho en la cobra. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think one of the things that both of you need to work on a little bit is finding this rhythm and flow. Sun salutation is all about rhythm. It's super, super important in any language to find that sense of rhythm. I'm going to guide one and I'm going to show you what I mean, okay? So, empezamos en el inicio de la colchoneta. Rotamos los hombros hacia las orejas, hacia atrás y abajo, abriendo el pecho. Muy bien. Inhala, sube tus brazos. Exhala, dóblate en Uttanasana. Inhala, extiende la columna, mira hacia adelante. Exhala, damos un paso atrás a la plancha y pausa. Inhala aquí. Exhala, baja el pecho al suelo. Inhala, sube pecho y abrimos las clavículas en la postura de la cobra. Exhala, lleva caderas hacia arriba y atrás en perro boca abajo. Tomamos 3 respiraciones aquí. Alarga la columna, extiende los costados del cuerpo y rota los isquiones hacia arriba. Ahora sí, con la próxima inhalación, flexiona las rodillas, mira entre las manos y da un paso hacia adelante. Exhala, dóblate en Uttanasana. Inhala, sube vértebra por vértebra, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhala, junta las palmas en el corazón. So do you see how I've basically chosen one cue per movement, just to make it really, really simple. Breath, cue, posture name, that's it.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go one more time, Claire?
Okay. Nos ponemos de pie al frente de la colchoneta. Enraizamos los pies en la tierra. Subimos los brazos y las manos hacia el cielo. Nos doblamos colocando las manos en la tierra. Alargamos la columna y llevamos los brazos a cada lado de la cabeza. Or is that not actually, sorry, okay, I'll ask you after. Okay, colocamos las manos en la tierra y damos un paso hacia atrás y entramos en plancha. Bajamos los codos a cada lado del pecho.
That's a very confusing cue right there.
Okay.
So, because what you just said is lower the elbows to either side of the chest.
So I have to
Whereas
bajamos.
what you want to say is bajamos el pecho al nivel de los codos, right?
Okay.
Lower the chest to the elbow height.
Okay, or bajamos en plancha baja.
Yeah.
Giramos los pies y colocamos los empeines en la tierra y empujamos abriendo el pecho.
So let's
And
pause and look at that cue, because that cue again, don't worry about the feet. Moving from chaturanga to up dog needs to be done fast, because people really struggle to hold chaturanga for a long period of time. So you need to move quickly. You need to say, bajamos a chaturanga, inhala, extiende tus brazos, Urdhva Mukha Hastasana, or inhala, sube pecho en la cobra, right? Just make that a super fast transition.
Okay. Okay. Inhala y abrimos el pecho en la cobra. Empujamos en las manos y llevamos las caderas hacia arriba y hacia atrás en perro boca abajo. Damos un paso al frente de la colchoneta. Alargamos la columna. Levantamos y llevamos los brazos y las manos hacia el cielo. Bajamos los brazos a cada lado de las caderas y abrimos las palmas. Okay, and that's it, right?
Okay, good. So the only other thing for me that's missing is the breath. And the breath is pretty much the most important thing in sun salutations. Why? Because sun salutations are typically done as a warm-up. They're typically done to get people moving with their breath and to enter into this sort of meditative and mindful state, right? So it is really important to cue the breath. Inhalamos, exhalamos. And it helps kind of build that rhythm as well. If you can give inhalamos, subimos los brazos, exhalamos, nos doblamos, inhalamos, extendemos la columna, exhalamos, damos un paso atrás a la plancha. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Very well done, the both of you. It's good to see you warming back into things again. We're going to move back into the main room now, and we're going to talk about introspective language. So whenever you're ready, I'll see you back in the main room.
Thanks. Andrew, did you get my passport number on WhatsApp?
I did, I think. Yeah, let me just check that. Yes, got it now.
Okay, cool. Didn't want to leave you hanging, but I preferred that over email.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, wait, that's somebody else who sent me a vegetable rice.
That's not it.
Yeah, got it now.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, welcome back, everyone. How did you all get on, Vicky, Diane, and Liana?
Good. We were rushing towards the end, so I was like, okay, we got there. Hurry. That's why we came in laughing.
Nice.
We were trying to get our hands to heart center so we could be done.
All right, good. So today we're going to talk about language for introspection, and we're going to start to introduce the theme of meditation. So meditation for me, I think, is one of the most challenging things to teach in a yoga class. So I'm really just going to start planting the seeds today for how we can actually begin to guide meditations, yeah? When it comes to introspective language, however, we can use that much more widely throughout the whole of class. So what I'd like you to do now, just by yourselves on a sheet of paper or in your notebook, is to brainstorm what moments in class do you use introspective language, and which kind of language do you use for each one. So I'll give you an example. When I'm doing Warrior 3, I might use introspective language, and I might use language that talks about bravery or strength, or being able to cope with, difficulty in practice. So I might talk about those particular aspects, right? So yeah, just take a moment to think about what moments in class do you use introspective language, and what kind of language do you use for each? Okay, a couple more minutes. Okay, so let's share some of our ideas then. So, Juliana, what are some of the moments in class when you might use introspective language?
At the beginning of class,
And what kind of things might you say in the beginning of class?
just telling people to close their eyes. I like to tell people to place one hand over their heart and one hand over their stomach. And then I just tell people to start recognizing the space around them, and that the space belongs to them. And sometimes I tell them if they'd like, they can set an intention or dedicate their class to somebody.
Good, nice, great. Diane, what are some of the moments in class when you would tend to expect introspective language?
When in the future I will do. Well, my teachers often spread it out through the class in different poses, maybe to help people feel stronger, to help people connect to the breath, to keep people in a pose at their limit. And then the first thing that came to my mind was the same thing that Juliana said about setting the intention. And then Shavasana, I feel like that is very often my teachers have used introspective language during Shavasana.
Great, awesome, thanks so much. Vicky?
I was thinking like some like I had those ideas that Diana and Juliana shared, and then I was thinking maybe in the balancing postures, like when we hold something like tree, how many times because you're holding it for a while, you'll talk about strength, or how trees are strong, but they also they can still move, and something like that, being flexible and pliable.
Yeah, so you're even starting to become a little bit metaphorical in those moments, So imagine that you're a tree, or visualize that you're a tree. Feel your roots extended into the floor. Feel the sense of strength. Feel how you can move your branches in the wind. So definitely it's a posture that lends itself really well to being metaphorical. Good. Claire, are there any other moments in class that you would expect to hear introspective language?
No, I mean, I kind of second Diane. I'm not particularly poetic though, so I need to work on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Catherine, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would say some of the resting poses, like if you're in a child's pose or you're restoring, I think often those are times. And then at the end, I like to seal and do a lot of remember kind of comparison, like how do you feel at the beginning? How do you feel now? Like do some of that wrap up.
Yeah, and I really like that. That's got a lot to do with the style of yoga that I teach. And in Tantra Yoga, they talk about two opposites, Chit and Ananda. So Chit is introspection. It's bringing the attention within, reconnecting with the breath, the body, the processes of the emotion and the mind and the heart. And then Ananda is outward expression and celebration, creative movement, freedom of expression. And in class, there's this pulsing between these two aspects, which they call spanda. So you're moving between moments of introspection, between reconnecting, and you're moving in between moments of sort of creative free expression. And they're very complementary kind of things. So yeah, I like that. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like for you each to pick one of those instances. So maybe a standing balance, it might be Shavasana, it might be an opening meditation, it might be a seated posture where you reconnect, and to think about the language that you might use in English for those postures. So things like observe, feel, connect with your breath. If your mind wanders, come back to the breathing. Very simple phrases and pieces of vocabulary in English that you think might be useful. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead. 2 more minutes. Okay, you're all ready. You can take a look at the screen. I'm going to share my screen with you now. So I think the first thing that I'd like to do is make this as simple and accessible as I possibly can for everyone, right? And we can get into all of the complexity and technicality of things in due course. So the first thing I'd like to say about introspective language is using it with asana, okay? So in terms of using introspective language with asana, is very simple. First of all, you cue an action with very direct and efficient language, and then you provide an opportunity for introspection according to the action or pose. So the kinds of words that are going to be really useful for this are words such as, let me see if I can get rid of this. Okay, they're words such as, well, you tell me, what kind of words can help us bring our attention inside in English?
Quiet your mind.
So maybe, yeah, we'll come back to that later though. I want to deal with that later on. Just very simple verbs that can help us begin to bring the attention within.
Notice.
One more time, Catherine.
Notice.
Yes, so things like notice, notar. Good. What else?
Focus.
Focus. Good. And so in Spanish, there's a lot of ways of talking about focusing, okay? So I'm going to present you with a few different options here. The first one is a reflexive verb, is enfocarse en. So Juliana, could you help me with that and put that into the we form?
Enfocamos.
So nos enfocamos en. Good, well done. Good, so there's another reflexive verb we can use, which is concentrarse en. Claire, could you help me put that into the we form?
Nos concentramos en.
Good. Good. And then we can talk about words like bring the attention to. Llevamos la atención a. Or center the attention on. Centramos la atención en. So these are reasonably simple things that we can use. We've got notice. What about observe? Observamos. And feel. Sentimos. So observar and sentir. So those are super, super easy phrases that you can use to begin to focus people's attention inside. So what kind of things might they notice, focus on, bring their attention to? What do you think?
Their breath.
The breath. La respiración. Good. Oop.
Their thoughts.
Yeah, that is a challenging one, but we can get them to acknowledge their thoughts, los pensamientos. Good, what else?
The air between their toes.
Okay, we'll leave that one for now.
The feeling of rooting into the earth, the feeling of the earth beneath their body.
So feelings. Las sensaciones. Good, and we could specify what kind of feeling. La sensación de la tierra debajo de los pies. Yeah? But for now, we'll just keep it simple and talk about la sensación or las sensaciones. Good, what else? What other things might you get your students in your yoga classes to connect with?
Their body.
Yeah.
Different
great.
parts of the body.
Body. Or you could even talk about individual parts like notamos las piernas o notamos las sensaciones en las piernas. Yeah. El cuerpo. Good. You could talk about the rhythm of the heart, no? So, el ritmo del corazón. Or los latidos del corazón. What does los latidos mean?
Heartbeats.
Yeah, the beats of the heartbeats. Good.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's lots and lots of different things that you could focus on, yeah? And if you look at your meditation sheet, you'll find tons of other things here. You've got things like emotions, thoughts, judgments, chakras, peace, calm, yeah? So there's all kinds of things there that we can bring our attention to. And so to give you some examples now of some of the postures that I've created here. So I've got an example for you of Warrior One. So the first one is, enraizamos los pies en la tierra y, let me just see what I've done here. Y con valentía extendemos el torso y los brazos sobre la cabeza. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. Pausamos y sentimos. Notamos la sensación de fuerza en la postura. So what have I said there? Who can help translate that for me?
With bravery?
Yeah. Well, let's start from the beginning with enraizamos.
Root your feet in the earth, and with bravery, extend the torso and the arms above the head.
Yeah, and maybe to make that sound even nicer, we could say elevamos el torso y extendemos los brazos sobre la cabeza. Good. So bravery there is a nice introspective word. Good. Who can continue translating from pausamos?
We stop and we feel, stop to feel. We note the sensation of strength in the posture.
Yeah, pause, feel, notice the sensation of force or of strength in the pose. Good. Okay, so that's one example. Very, very simple, no? Again, there's nothing complicated about this, and that's kind of what I want to get across, is that to become introspective, you don't need to tie yourself up in knots with complex language. Camel. Rotamos los hombros hacia atrás y conectamos omóplatos. Y sentimos la apertura en el pecho, or sentimos el espacio que hemos creado en la postura. So who can help me with that?
Rotate your shoulders to the back and connect your shoulder blades and feel.
Good.
No, I don't know. Apertura.
What does it sound like, apertura? What verb does it sound like in Spanish? Can anybody help us out?
Apretar.
A little bit.
Apertura.
Apertura is connected with the verb abrir.
Feel the opening in the chest. Opening
Yeah,
of,
so
of the chest.
Feel the opening of the chest or in the chest. Good. Or sentimos el espacio que hemos creado en la postura.
Does that feel the space that we can create in the posture?
Hemos creado is the past tense, is the present perfect, and it's with that we have created in the posture. Hemos creado. Okay, so again, just make it simple, yeah? If we go back to this posture, we could be in tree pose. Pausamos, notamos, pause and notice. Centramos la atención en tus brazos, subimos las manos y movemos los brazos como ramas en el aire, yeah? So move the arms like branches in the wind, yeah? Or in Warrior 2, abrimos los brazos en Guerrero 2, pausamos y observamos la sensación de espacio en el pecho. Notamos la respiración y la energía, ¿ya? La energía. The energy. Good. Now, having said that, so we've got these things like the breath, our thoughts, our feelings, the body. What other things might we notice? What other phrases do you think might be useful in specific postures?
To smile.
Yeah, so notamos la sonrisa en nuestra cara. Yeah, the smile on our face. Yeah, what else?
Relax the face.
So we'll come back to that in a moment. I'm really just asking you now, what things can you focus on in a posture, right? So bring the attention to, or focus on, observe, feel. What things can you
Maybe like focus on your attention on something that's in front of you.
Ah, yeah. So we could say, centramos la atención en un drishti. What's a drishti?
A focal point.
Ya, un punto de enfoque delante de nosotros. So a focal point in front of us. So drishti is something we use to center our attention on. Traditionally, it was used as a meditation technique. Obviously, now it's used more for things like balancing poses. Yeah.
But you can even say something like, you know, like go inward and focus, you know, on how you're, you know, you feel inside versus the posture that you're in, you know, some more inclusive.
Yeah, so here we can add another nice little phrase, which is llevamos la atención adentro. Yeah, so bring the attention within. Llevamos la atención adentro y notamos las emociones que estamos experimentando. Notice the emotions that you're feeling right now. Yeah?
And kind of to this, would you also say something, you know, sort of like focus on your own postures, like, you know, like make this is your practice, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Your own rhythm.
You know, yeah, flow to the rhythm of your own breath, or
So we could also talk about the rhythm of the breath. And it's interesting. I think it's kind of a very American thing to talk about ownership of practice. I think that's something I hear really more from American teachers than I do from any other culture of teachers. And I've worked with teachers from literally all over the world now. And it's practice is very individualistic in the United States. There's this real emphasis on, you know, this is your practice, this is your space, as if you kind of need permission to feel these kinds of things, which I find really interesting. So, I mean, by all means, if you want to talk about that, then you could say, esta es tu práctica, es tu tiempo, es tu momento para conectarte contigo mismo. So let's put that there. Let's write that down. So, este es tu momento. Es tu práctica. Es tu oportunidad.
Do you have more like community-based language then?
It's interesting because here in Latin America, they're more talking about sort of the emotional content of practice rather than the individualistic content, if that makes sense. So they're more talking about, you know, give yourself permission to connect with your feelings right now, to feel, to connect with your heart, and they talk a lot about things like sort of radiating peace and love, feeling kindness and generosity. So I've noticed that in Latin America, there's a lot of talk about that kind of aspect of practice. And I think it's, in a large extent, it is cultural. Maybe there's this sense in America that sort of taking time for yourself we kind of feel guilty about it. Is that something you would agree with?
yeah, I think I sort of use the language to not make it a competition. So it's like practicing, like, you know, don't look at the people around you, do what feels good for your body. It's a little bit more that permission.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know if the teachers agree, but I find that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to sort of, you know, make these big cultural statements because I think they can be a little bit inaccurate, but I do notice that people use slightly different language depending on sort of where they come from. Good. Okay. So este es tu momento, es tu práctica, es tu oportunidad para conectarte contigo mismo, para sentir, para, what else can we say? It's your opportunity to connect with yourself, to feel, para dedicar tiempo a ti.
A lot of my teachers say, forget your to-do lists, The only thing you need to think about right now is you. This is your hour. I do think that's a theme. And I do think it's really hard for a lot of people to give themselves permission to do that. And because I'm a woman, mother, I think it's really hard for women in particular to feel like they can take an hour in this culture, because a lot of my teachers say that.
Yes, that's very interesting. So date permiso, yeah,
Mhm.
a gozar este momento. What does gozar mean?
To enjoy.
Yeah, so give yourself permission to enjoy this moment. Yeah. So if you do want to say those kind of things, there's a ton of little phrases there. This is your moment. This is your practice, your opportunity. Give yourself permission. I really like that. I do find problems with teachers who say, forget your to-do list, because it's like saying to people, don't think about a pink elephant. I want you to totally avoid thinking about pink elephants from now on. Never imagine a pink elephant. Well, you might not have been thinking about a pink elephant 2 minutes ago, but you are now, right? And I always find that with teachers who are saying, forget your to-do list, don't worry about your plans and your obligations, what you've got coming up. And I'm thinking, well, I wasn't thinking about that before, but now my mind is full of all of these things. So it's better rather to sort of use positive reinforcement. So instead of saying all of the things that they can't think about, direct their attention to the things that they should think about. And for you as a teacher, that's going to be very different depending on your sort of priorities and style. So for some teachers, it's the rhythm of the breath, it's movements. For other people, it's a visualization, it's imagining a color or a chakra or a mantra. So there are a lot of things that you can do there.
What about the present moment? Pointing people to focus on the present moment.
El presente. Yeah? Or el aquí. Oops.
We tell them they're on a personal journey.
Y el ahora. So, en el presente, o nos enfocamos en el aquí y el ahora. Yeah? So focus on the here and now. What was that, sorry? Something about a personal journey?
I feel like I hear a lot of teachers say, like, you're on your own, like back to what Catherine was saying about it not being a competition. It's like where you are in your journey.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that context, it's maybe easier to come up with a different phrase that just expresses things a little bit more neatly in Spanish. So, esta es tu práctica personal. ¿Ya? Esta es tu práctica personal. ¿Ya? Es tu cuerpo. Tu postura. And then, again, use this idea of positive reinforcement. Sentimos nuestro propio cuerpo. Nuestra propia respiración. So using the word propio, what does propio mean?
Your own.
Your own. Yeah, this is your own body, your own breath, your own practice. Tu propia práctica. Tu práctica personal. So yeah, you've got quite a lot of nice phrases to use there. And I think really at the end of the day, the trick with using introspective and meditative language is to try and think in Spanish and not to think in English and try and translate these complicated, often metaphorical concepts from one language to another. Does that make sense? Because the moment that you start trying to say, you know, soften your heart and go within, this is your personal, you know, sort of asana journey, and, you know, dedicate this moment to yourself, and you start thinking about how to translate all of that into Spanish, it can become really, really tough and challenging. Really, at this time, you've got to be realistic about what your language skills are, you know? Make it simple, give students something concrete that they can focus on, and then by all means, you know, address these other phrases like, this is your moment, this is your posture, this is your time. Focus on your emotions, what do you feel, etc., etc. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to take a moment now to break into two groups, and we're going to do the following. You're going to choose two different postures, right? For each posture, you're going to give the asana instructions to come into that pose, and then you're going to give a moment for introspection. So to come back to the example of Warrior One, the instructions to come into the pose are: enraizamos los pies en la tierra y con valentía elevamos el torso y extendemos los brazos sobre la cabeza. Okay, those are the asana instructions. Then you've got the introspective moment. Pausamos y sentimos. Notamos la sensación de fuerza en la postura. Okay? So I want you to do that for two postures in Spanish in your groups. Remember that you've got your meditation page there, which has got a ton of useful vocab in that might help you. So by all means, consult your notes. I'm going to give you around about 15 minutes, and we're going to come back and share. Any questions before we get going? Okay. So, whenever you're ready, you can click on your rooms.
For the pose?
Well, not really. I figure we should do something easy, easier than not. What are you familiar? Do Ashtanga, so you're familiar with most postures.
Yeah, I do a lot of vinyasa too.
Yeah.
I practice.
So would something like Warrior One or Warrior Two be comfortable?
Yeah, we could do, maybe another one could be tree.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like there's lots of opportunities for tree.
Okay. Which warrior do you want us to do? Warrior Two?
Yeah,
Or Warrior One? Okay.
let's do Warrior Two.
Okay, so first we have to get them into Warrior Two.
Okay. So let's pretend like they're at the front of the mat.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. Giramos a la derecha.
Turn to the right.
Llevamos y separamos los pies de distancia de 3 pies. Una distancia de 3 pies. No?
Okay, so we want to do it where we're going to turn and then separate our feet and then we'll turn back to the center. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I don't even know how to cue for Warrior Two. So why don't you start?
I'm wondering if I was at the top of the mat, I might have them just take a big step back.
Okay.
With one of the feet.
Damos un gran paso para atrás.
Well, we should tell them which foot. Should we do like step back with the right foot?
Damos un paso para atrás con la pierna derecha.
Sí, sure.
Do we say gran paso? I want to say a large step back or a...
I feel like in our, I feel like in our worksheet for standing float, there was a big step back. And it was un paso largo, a
Good.
long step.
Great looking that up. Gosh. Damos
It was lucky I found it quickly.
damos un
Un paso largo.
para atrás con la pierna derecha.
Sí. So we're going to take a big step back. I almost have to stand up and do this. And then I would turn them giramos
Giramos.
la cadera. Can we turn the hips to the right as well? Does that make sense? If we're at the top of the mat, we took a big step back. And now we're going to turn.
I have to do this too because
I know, right?
This is not okay. So take a big step back. I'll fall over. Okay.
When you took a step back, you were still facing the front of the mat. We just took a big step.
Okay, so maybe what we say is damos un paso largo para atrás con la pierna. Are we doing the right leg?
Yep.
Pierna derecha. Flexionamos la rodilla izquierda.
Okay. You know, we're moving into warrior one. We could just do warrior one. But you're still facing front, love.
Right, I am.
No, face me. Face the top of your mat. Take a big step back. And now you wanted to bend your left knee. See, you're still facing forward. We've got to turn them to the right if we want to go into warrior two.
Okay, giramos el cuerpo hacia el lado derecho.
See, I like that because we're going to turn to the right side.
Okay. Have we bent our front knee? Flexionamos.
Yeah, we did have them do that. We could.
So I want to say los pies.
We would want the front heel to be in line with the back arch. So el talón izquierda, let's see, alinear is to line, right? So
we say colocar el talón izquierda, or should we not say colocar? Alinear el talón izquierda con el
arco del pie derecha.
Pie derecha. Extender los brazos hacia arriba y hacia atrás.
I think there's a way to say to lift the arms to the height of the shoulders. So
elevamos los brazos a la altura de los hombros.
Sí, excelente.
Elevamos los brazos a la altura de los hombros.
Y miramos la mano izquierda.
Yes, remember that we want to keep this super simple, just as you did in your previous exercise. Like, really, 1 or 2 cues is all that we need. Abrimos los brazos y el pecho en Guerrero 2, you know? Just keep your language simple. You don't need to be super, super technical here with all of the micro alignments.
Okay.
The important thing is rather the introspective language.
Excelente. Gracias. Okay, so we've got them. We had them step back.
Extendemos los brazos.
Mm-hmm.
Nos
We say
sentimos
altura del pecho.
altura del pecho, a la altura de los hombros.
Okay. Okay.
Now the introspective, sentimos el esfuerzo de las piernas fuertes.
The strong legs.
We feel the strength of our legs. Sentimos la fuerza, Andrew, la fuerza. Sentimos la fuerza de las piernas fuertes.
Sorry, I was on mute there. So I would avoid the repetition there. I would just say, just keep it simple. Sentimos la fuerza en tus piernas. O sentimos la fuerza en las piernas.
I like that. Just the strength of the legs.
Yeah.
La fuerza de las piernas, okay?
And maybe say we can focus on the openness of the expansiveness of the chest.
Sentimos el pecho abierto.
What was the word that Andrew used? La apertura.
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 Sentimos la apertura y el espacio en el pecho. That's nice. So, el espacio y la apertura en el pecho.
Escuchamos nuestra respiración.
The breath, the flow of the breath.
Can we say fluidez de la respiración, Andrew? No, we don't
La
say
fluidez de la respiración
no,
o el
that's
flujo de la respiración.
flujo. Fluidez is fluency. We don't want el flujo de la respiración. Sentimos el flujo de la respiración. Well, we're just feeling too much. What else can we do besides
We're feeling too much. I like it. We're just feeling too much.
Yeah, we can also...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
We can also note, we can observe, we can bring the attention to, focus the attention on. I mean, you've got a whole wealth of different phrases there that would work in that context.
You know, in Warrior 2, there's, you know, you're looking over your front hand. In this case, it was our left hand. Maybe we could bring the focus on that drishti.
And el dedo del corazón. Aren't we supposed to?
Our punto de enfoque.
Pero nos miramos.
To focus.
Yeah. So let's write this down so when we're called upon.
We have something to say.
I'm just going to check in with the other group and see how they're doing.
Good. Okay, gracias.
Con gusto.
Maybe, yeah, we could do a crescent lunge. That's the one that's more like forceful versus the other one, which is more.
How have we done so far, team? Sorry to interrupt and jump in.
So far, so good. We were going over what I had written down that was a part of my my asanas that we had prepared.
Great.
And you and Paulina, I don't remember her name, I'm sorry. Yes, and we were going over the Supta Baddha Konasana and the part where we're inhaling and exhaling to feel the air entering your body, and then exhale how it feels leaving your body. And then we were coming up with other ideas for it.
Good. And what other ideas did you have for introspective language?
We were saying you can puedes cerrar tus ojos aquí si se siente bien, y puedes y llevamos la atención adentro. That's something that we wrote, and then
yeah. So llevamos la atención adentro y sentimos. Well, what are we going to feel? Sentimos los pulmones o sentimos cómo se expanden los pulmones con la inhalación. Sentimos cómo se relaja el pecho con la exhalación. So things like that sound really nice, no? You can be a little bit creative.
Can I repeat to you something that I tried?
Please.
Okay. So, sentimos el ritmo de tu corazón y notamos...
So pause there for 1 second. It's slightly problematic saying sentimos nosotros el ritmo de tu corazón singular. Yeah, so just sentimos el ritmo del corazón is enough, I think.
Okay, del corazón. Y notamos, I'm trying to say, okay, maybe you'll get what I'm trying to say. Notamos donde donde sentimos or donde siente la energía en tu cuerpo. Like I want to say, notice where you feel the energy.
Yeah, so notamos, or you could even say something como circula la energía en el cuerpo, how the energy circulates in the body. So that might be a quite nice one. Notamos como circula la energía en el cuerpo. Let me put that in the chat. So do you see in the chat there? You should have the phrase written out.
Okay, thank you. And is this a time that you use more personal language than we language because you're trying to have people go more?
Yeah, if you've got it, you can. But again, I mean, I think the priority has to be making it easy for yourself above everything else right now until you get that sort of sense of self-confidence. So for now, notamos cómo circula la energía en el cuerpo. That's the we form, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't say nota cómo circula la energía en tu cuerpo, you can also say that as well. Mm-hmm. But again, I always think it's important not to be jumping back and forth between the we form and the you form like mid-sentence. Right. So again, that's just something to watch out for.
Andrew, what were some of the things that you said that we could continue to say after la atención adentro?
So llevamos la atención adentro. So one thing that I said is observamos cómo se expande el pecho con la inhalación. Okay. Y cómo se relaja con la exhalación. There, it's in the group chat.
Thank you.
Notamos los movimientos del pecho y el flujo del aire. The flow of the air. Note the movements of the chest and the flow of the air. So these are all just nice little things that you can get people to focus on.
It's one thing we were saying was like at this point, if I have someone in Sukta Baddha Konasana for 8 breaths, right? I might say something that's more of a statement first, you know, like the hips hold a lot of tension for us sometimes. Mm-hmm. Is that common when you teach in Spanish as well, of doing a little bit of?
Yeah, so I mean, again, all of these phrases start to get a little bit more challenging, right? So, I mean, you might say something like, en las caderas podemos almacenar. Yeah, we can store muchas emociones. Y cuando hacemos aperturas de caderas, estas emociones pueden salir. Yeah, so you could say something along the lines of that, you know. We can store a lot of emotions in the hips, and when we do hip opening, these emotions can come out. Does that make sense?
Totally. I guess I'm asking, like, is it commonplace that teachers do that in Latin America versus?
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a look here. So here in for example, my studies I've got written down. Abrir las caderas ayuda a liberar energía creativa fundamental y emociones almacenadas en la zona pélvica y la base de la columna vertebral. So opening the hips helps us to release creative energy and emotions that we've stored in the pelvic region and at the base of the spine. So yeah, by all means. Okay, I'm going to bring everybody back into the main room now, and we're going to share what we've got. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So what I want to finish with today, if you can have a little look at your screens. Oh, wait, we're still missing a couple of people, I think. 1, 2, 3. We're still missing the other 2. There we go. Great, so welcome back, everybody. What I wanted to finish with today in the last 10 minutes is, you haven't actually got this page in your handout, something that I created for today's class. And I just thought I would put down just a very simple meditation so you had something to work with, okay? So what you've got here is really a text that you can use either by itself, or you can use it as a base to build your own basic meditation on top of. So I had 2 objectives in this meditation. This opening meditation, the idea is to sit people down, to get them to first of all connect with the environment around them, yeah, to help them just kind of get out of their heads a little bit, and then to bring the attention within and to notice what's going on inside. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, I started this off with instructions to sit down. Nos sentamos en una postura cómoda. Sacamos los glúteos. What do you think that means? Sacamos los glúteos.
Untuck your glutes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a sort of a cue to get people sitting comfortably. Sacamos los glúteos. Alargamos los costados del cuerpo. What does that mean?
Costados.
Alargamos los costados del cuerpo.
Lengthen your ribs. Open your ribs.
Lengthen your side body.
Side body.
It's the whole of the side body, yeah. Rotamos los hombros hacia las orejas, hacia atrás y abajo. Cerramos los ojos. Tomamos unas respiraciones lentas y profundas. So, close the eyes and take some slow and deep breaths. And then what I do at this point is I lead people slowly. I don't rush this point. I give people a few breaths in each aspect. Pausamos. Observamos nuestro entorno. What's nuestro entorno?
The environment.
Yeah, the environment, what's around us, yeah? Notamos los olores, and then you give people a moment to notice the smells. Los sonidos, la temperatura del aire, la brisa. What's la brisa?
Breeze.
Yeah, the temperature of the air and the breeze. La calidad de la luz. What's la calidad de la luz?
Something we don't have, but you do, Andrew.
Quality of the light. No, that's not true.
The quality? Oh, I was thinking, never mind. Calidad. I was thinking
Calor.
caliente. Calor. I was thinking the warmth of the lights, but.
La calidez de la luz, yeah. The quality of the light here, yeah. So what kind of light is there around? And you can also notice the earth beneath you, la tierra debajo de ti. Okay. And then you can, sentimos espacio en nuestro cuerpo y en nuestra mente. So feel spaciousness, both in your body and in your mind. Llevamos la atención adentro, so bring the attention within. Notamos las sensaciones en nuestro cuerpo, los dolores, incomodidades. So note the physical sensations in your body, pains and discomfort. Notice the rhythm and the beating of the heart. So we've talked about that. Notamos la digestión. Maybe that's something you want to notice. Maybe not. That's something one of my students brought up recently. Notamos los movimientos de la respiración o la expansión de los pulmones. ¿Ya? Notamos las emociones presentes en nuestro corazón. So the emotions that are present in our heart. Y la calidad de nuestra mente. The quality of our mind. Si está agitada o calmada, ocupada o tranquila. So our mind, how would you translate those things? Agitada o calmada?
If it's agitated or calm, or busy or, well, tranquila, is that much different than calm? Tranquil?
Tranquil, yeah. Calm, relaxed, at ease. Good. Seguimos el ritmo de nuestra respiración. Okay, so follow the rhythm of the breath. Now here's a nice little phrase. Si la mente se ha desviado, volvemos a observar y a sentir. So if the mind wanders off, yeah? If the mind has wandered off, let's come back to observe and feel. Seguimos practicando en silencio.
Nice. That's
So
I
if you
like
can
that.
see, it's just a very basic meditation, but that might work really well for opening your class, and you can build on it, right? Because again, if there are other things in your environment, el canto de los pájaros, yeah? El sonido del tráfico fuera del estudio, yeah? So whatever things that are relevant to you, you can just kind of pop them into that meditation. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes.
Andrew, could you tell me what is the word gozo on the right? Is it like gozar to? Is it
Yeah.
from gozar? Oh, okay.
Here's the other option. A really nice, easy way to guide a meditation as well is to get people to inhale and exhale certain qualities. So in English, you might get people seated, you've got them focused on their breath. Inhale peace, exhale love. Inhale tranquility, exhale gratitude. You know, so it's just, again, it's just a way to get people to connect with these different qualities in their hearts. So tranquilidad, luz, felicidad. Gozo is like pleasure. Yeah. Paz, peace, gratitud, calma, amor, confianza, fuerza, valentía, energía, aprecio, appreciation, compasión, generosidad, amabilidad.
Esperanza.
Hmm?
I said esperanza.
Esperanza. Yeah, let's add another one in there.
Andrea did a beautiful job with lots of examples of that in her video she made for us.
Exactly. That's where I got the inspiration to add that little phrase in. Yeah. Great. So I think what I'm trying to say is here, make it easy for yourself. And little by little, as you grow in confidence, start to expand your language. Yeah. For me, it's taken me a number of years to really feel comfortable talking about introspection and meditation in Spanish. It's much more challenging than talking about asana. So I think that the best thing to do is just make it easy initially, and then by all means, with time, make it more challenging for yourselves. Now, what is homework for this evening? Tomorrow, Andrea and Paulina will be back, and you're going to be working with them in small groups one more time. So this time, I want you to make another 8 to 12 postures in a sequence. And this time, if it makes sense to use introspective language in the posture, by all means, use introspective language. You don't need to force it in there in every single instance. We probably wouldn't do that in our English asana practices, right? But we will sometimes. There will be times when we want to get people to connect. So, what is your homework for tomorrow?
Well, posture flow.
Create
Sorry,
an
quite
asana
catch that.
class.
Sorry.
Create a flow, an asana with 9 to 12 asanas. And did you say to translate it? Go ahead and translate it.
Yeah, of course. This should be in Spanish now. Yeah.
Homework. Okay. And you want us to include introspective language. It doesn't have to be with every asana, but it has to be in there.
Yeah, exactly. So remember to follow the instructions to keep things simple and direct. Yeah. And don't get yourselves tied up with immensely complicated language. Maybe try something different this time. If you did like a lying down sequence last time, try a standing up sequence. Or if you did a standing flow last time, try something sitting. Yeah, so try something a little bit new this time. Tomorrow evening, we'll spend the session going through things with Andrea and Paulina. All right?
All right.
Okay, well done, everybody. Have a lovely evening, and I will catch you all again soon.
Gracias, Andrew. Gracias,
Gusto.
everyone.
Muchas
Venga,
gracias.
Bye. Namaste.
Hasta luego.
Bye now.
Bye.